Going, and we're live. I mean, we're not live, but you know what I mean. We're live. We're recording. We're recording live. You know. All right. Hello and welcome everyone to episode 113 of the GGG Podcast. Oh my God, I'm falling apart today. We got a good episode for you. Resident Evil Requiem came out this week. We're going to be getting some retro Pokemon games as well. Got a Wolverine release date. Got some Pokemon announcements. The Steam Next Fest is going on. Xbox is officially being flushed down the toilet. And the Marathon Server Slam is happening right now. Phil and I have checked it out. I'm joined by Phil, my amazing co-host. Phil, how have you been doing today? What have you been playing this week?
Oh, I've been good. I've been out of town for the last couple of days, so I've been reading a book, which is
what is a book?
Project Hail Mary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a thing that they're using to make a movie. So
I see.
But it's a great book. So just a little offhand suggestion there if anyone likes some fiction. Sci-fi specifically, but otherwise I've been playing a good amount of Eugenics and Arc Raiders, and occasionally putting in a little bit of Marvel Rivals time as well. And then, of course, like you said, Marathon. I also played a little bit of Diablo 2 Resurrected because it was free on Game Pass.
Okay.
But I guess before we move on, we should talk about the new Arc Raider season, which they added a new map condition and 2 new arc. The new map condition is like a hurricane storm thing that's happening on the surface. And they're doing some really clever things with it, kind of that reminds me of Helldivers 2. But in the storm condition, as you are outside, the winds are kicking up and constantly hitting your shield, so it's like being degraded steadily over time. And it is also like pinging you, so people will see the bright outline of your shield kind of like getting like detritus slammed into it.
Huh.
On top of that, arc, like especially the flying ones, are more clumsy, so you could just shoot out one rotor and they'll like try to balance and crash. And then there are 2 new arc in the game, one of which is like a flying one that is more survivable than a hornet, and it shoots fire at you. So, and it's like almost silent. So that sucks. And the other one is like an outside version of a popper, but it just rolls at you and then creates like a small nuclear detonation that if you are even within like 30 yards of it,
wow,
will still affect your shields. Yeah, it's powerful.
Okay.
So, but if you kill it before it explodes, you get some sort of special item. I've been enjoying everything they've added in this new season. There's also a new deck that is free, so you can like get a bunch of cosmetics and useful items. So they're chugging along there over at Arc Raiders.
Right on. And I'm sure that update timing has a lot to do with Marathon's Server Slam this weekend.
Listen, I feel like Arc Raiders is like, sweetie, we don't think about you.
I don't
Whereas
even know
over in
who
Marathon,
you are.
like, they can't say Arc Raiders in the chat. But what have you been playing this week?
Well, I checked out, similarly with games that have been updated, the Space Marine 2 update came out yesterday, and they introduced a new class, the Tech Marine, and it's really cool. They have like an auto turret that is attached to like your backpack, and you can use it to like shoot enemies automatically. There's new animations where you have like this claw that's like coming out of the other side of your backpack, where you like grab things out of the air that are jumping at you and do a fancy little finisher. They've added a new weapon, it's called the Omnisci Axe, but it kind of acts like a pole arm. So it's like a giant spear where you're just like, you can charge through enemies, which is really fun. So that's been great. They also added a new cooperative mission, which they have been pumping out like crazy. The game launched with 6 cooperative missions. It now has 12 cooperative missions. So
dang,
that's a lot of co-op gameplay right there. So I'm happy they're still updating the game. I cannot believe they still are, to be honest with you, but I've had a lot of fun with it. Then I also checked out a demo for Windrose, which is one of the Steam Next Fest games that we'll talk about in a little bit. So I'll save my thoughts for when we talk about Steam Next Fest. But yeah, playing that. I've been itching to get back on No Man's Sky since with the update, but I haven't done that yet. Just haven't had the time. So yeah, those have been my major games this week. All right, we are going to get into the major releases, but before we do, if you haven't already liked and subscribed to our podcast, we'd really appreciate it over on YouTube. And if you're listening to the audio only version on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, follow us over there as well. The major game released this week is one everybody's talking about, and that is Resident Evil Requiem. People have been chomping at the bit to play this game, and from what all of the major review sites have been saying about it, everybody loves it. If you are a Resident Evil fan, you will love this game. I do think on Metacritic it was sitting in the high 80s, but again, Metacritic, you have to kind of rate on a scale a little bit because games don't really get like 98s on Metacritic unless they're masterpieces. I'm not the biggest Resident Evil fan. I've played some Resident Evil games, but apparently it does all the fan service you could ask for. So are you going to pick this up, Phil?
I think so. I'm debating on whether or not I'm going to pick it up now or I might wait till it goes on sale. Mm-hmm. But from what I hear, it has got my favorite part of Resident Evil, which is Leon. Mm-hmm. And in those parts of the game, it's not a scary game. It's a game where you just beat zombies by roundhouse kicking them and stabbing them. And then the other half of the game is sort of your Resident Evil 7 and 8 style, new traditional first-person adventure where you are not some sort of immortal soldier. So I like the fact that the game can do both, and so I'm willing to try it. But I'm also this month has so many good games coming out that I'm kind of like, I don't know where to throw this budget between this and Pocopia and Crimson
Desert and Ghost of Yote's multiplayer coming out. Well, you don't have to pay for that. So you don't have to pay for that, but you have to pay with time. Yeah. So
true. Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of good things coming out this month. March is gearing up to be awesome. So and then for Nintendo, they are launching Fire Red and Leaf Green as a Switch version. Now I need to clarify. I should have looked this up beforehand, Phil, but do you know if this is also available on the original Switch, or is this like a Switch 2 only thing?
I feel like it's got to be on both the Switch and the Switch 2, but I could see Nintendo also just doing it on the Switch 2 because they are Nintendo.
Let's see.
Let me see if I can look it up.
Okay, you look it up. Right. Well, yeah, I got chewed out because I was on Instagram and somebody was talking about like, I'm not actually going to buy the Switch versions, or of course I'm going to pay for the Switch version of Fire Red and Leaf Green. And for me, it's just like Nintendo has made those products like you couldn't buy them for so long that I've just kind of been in the boat of like, well, I'll just download the ROM on my phone and play them with an emulator, because for the last 15, 20 years, you weren't allowed to buy them anywhere unless you're going to go get a Game Boy Advance or an SP and run it on those. But I was like, yeah, I've been playing these on my phone. I don't really want to buy them again. And everyone's like, screw you. How dare you? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, this is what Nintendo does, guys. Like,
it's Pokemon. They have enough money.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is available on both versions of the Switch at $20.
That's good. That's good.
I think Fire Red and Leaf Green are the best versions of the original Pokemon games. I mean, I feel like everybody's pretty much on board with that.
100%.
Unless you think Yellow is the best version. But this kind of plays like you remember the original games playing on your like Game Boy Color back in the day.
Yeah.
So, that's a great one if anyone is interested in playing those games. This is like, I feel like probably the most legit OG Pokemon experience you are like to find these days.
Yeah, 100%. I love Fire Red and Leaf Green. I've played them a lot, and yeah, I'm excited that they're coming out. All right, let's get into some more news. So Wolverine got a release date, which means it's actually coming out this year. We don't have to worry about it, thank goodness. It's going to be coming out September 15th. I am so stoked about that. Obviously, clearing a little bit of room for Grand Theft Auto in the back end of the year there. Are you excited about a September 15th release?
Yeah, I think it's a good time. Like, it won't be too busy that time of year. They're avoiding Grand Theft Auto 5, 6, whatever. Grand Theft Auto Infinity, who cares? I was just talking with a buddy of mine about Grand Theft Auto 6, and how we're like, yeah, it's going to be good. It'll be good. But I think Wolverine is going to be in a good spot there. Like, people will still be talking about it when Game of the Year comes up for, like, action-adventure stuff, so we can get some award buzz going, and hopefully keep us busy from, like, September into October. But
yeah, I mean, I'm so stoked about this game. I've loved the Spider-Man games that Insomniac has put out. You know, it was one of our Game of the Years a couple of years ago. It is interesting. Some other news came out in connection to Wolverine that I do want to discuss, and that is that Sony has currently no plans to port Wolverine to the PC. And this has not been the case over the last couple of years. And apparently this is part of a larger strategy where Sony is aiming that if a game is primarily single player, that they will not be porting it over to the PC, as opposed to games like Marathon that are multiplayer games that are going to stay completely multi-platform. What do you make of this business strategy, Phil?
I think it's honestly smart. I don't love it as a consumer, but I also think it is the correct move for Sony, because, like, if you become Xbox and all of your games are available on a PC, then what is the point of getting an Xbox, which we have seen people are not buying Xboxes. So I think that this is like, yeah, we have to have a reason to come back to the PlayStation. And I do love that, like, I get a really optimized experience on my PlayStation 5. I have a reason to come back to the PlayStation 6. And even if those reasons are just God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, Wolverine, Spider-Man, that's plenty of reason for me to invest in that console. So Sony, I feel like, is kind of doubling down to become a Nintendo-style company in that respect of, like, hey, we make some grade A product over here. We know PC gaming is probably going to take over the market, but, like, come back to us for this.
Yeah, I mean, I would say PC gaming is already taking over the market. But I don't know if this is really a Nintendo strategy as much as this is just a classic console strategy that Xbox started veering away from. And you and I have talked about this since we started doing the podcast, where I've complained of, like, if I have Xbox Game Pass on my PC, why do I buy an Xbox?
Why would I ever get an Xbox?
There's no reason. So I like this. I think this is a good strategy. Like, yeah, as a consumer, do I wish I could get all games on whatever platform I wanted? Sure. But I do think, like, their willingness to keep multiplayer games multi-platform makes a lot of sense. And honestly, it's like, I don't really know that I want to play Spider-Man on a PC unless I'm getting, like, really into mods where I'm like, I want Master Chief to be Peter Parker and I want to swing around New York City as Master Chief. I'm
Shrek now. Yeah. With great power comes great swamp.
Yeah. The benefit is mods. That's what I see. But I mean, Wolverine, I think keeping it specifically designed for a console. Obviously, the PS5 hardware is getting a little older, but again, when you know exactly the specifications of what you're designing it for, you can really tune everything so that it runs well on a PlayStation. And Insomniac has been able to do that with all of their games. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, just one sort of, like, additional leak and rumor out there. Nate the Hate, who's noted, like, leaker for a lot of video game news, is reporting that some PC games some Sony games coming to PC that were already in development for being ported over will probably come over. Something in, like, Saros will probably release.
Yeah.
That might extend to Wolverine, so that's happening this year, and this plan seems to be, like, late. I don't know if they're into production, but I think an added benefit to this is that we might get sequels in a little bit sooner fashion. I mean, I know that game development is just getting longer and longer, but I think adding PC porting and like diverting a chunk of your manpower to do that has been slowing down our cycle a little bit. So we might get more and more after that. But, yep.
Sure. Very interesting. Okay, next up we had the Pokemon presentation today. The major thing, there was a lot of different Pokemon things announced, but the major thing is the 10th generation of Pokemon has been announced, and that is Pokemon Winds and Waves, 2 separate games, just as we talked about earlier with Fire Red and Leaf Green. So these are the next pairings of Pokemon games, and we got to get a look at the starter Pokemon. So that was pretty cute. I'm trying to find the beasts' names. But
okay. Well, hold on. Let me just pop in here and tell you that I would die for Pombon. He's the new fire starter. He's a little Pomeranian. He's so cute. And if any of you out there in the audience make him feel bad, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna get you.
They all look really cute, to be honest.
Yes.
And I think especially in the art style that they're going in, which is obviously very close to what is it called? It starts with an I, Pokemon
X and Y.
Or yeah, X and Y as well. Yeah. It's like this. I will say though, it definitely looks designed for the Switch 2, so things do look a little crisper than Pokemon games have looked in the past, and I do like that. Yeah. They showed off a trailer for Winds, I believe it was, and it looked really good. Like obviously the ocean and the wind are going to be huge parts of the game. Looks like a big open world. This is it kind of looks like the Pokemon game that I imagined when I was a kid that I wanted to play.
Yeah.
So I haven't been excited for a Pokemon game in a long time, but these look pretty good. So
the graphical leap is like, I think, pretty astonishing. I think they're things that they've experimented with in X and Y and Arceus, are kind of getting a little bit of a bonus here. Like where we see the different Pokemon in their different habitats kind of like interacting with their surroundings. And they did a little bit of that in X and Y. Like you would find Trubbish by garbage cans, and you would find like flocks of Pidgeys flying together. I do have the names of the starters. We have Brout, which is a sort of bird grass starter.
Okay.
He's got two little angry eyebrows, so I think he's gonna probably be like a fighting grass type. Pombon, who I mentioned earlier, looks like a beautiful little Pomeranian, and then a cute little gecko named Gekwa, who appears to be your water type.
Right.
Yeah.
Does it say anything about whether they're like multi-type? Like obviously they're grass, fire, water, but with the grass one being a bird, I have to immediately think it's a grass flying type, right?
It might be, but I mean, we've had Torchic in the past who became a firefighting,
right?
Even though it's a bird fire,
right.
So just based on like the vibe, it looks like this might be a grass.
The Torchic evolved into a kickboxer. That's not a bird by the end.
A lot of that's true. Similarly, the like Litten, the little kitten, turned into a luchador. So there's like a pretty noted history for firefighting. I think they might want to shake that and do another fighting type in here, or maybe ground type. But Gekwa looks like it's got these sort of psychic vibes. So I don't know where they're going, but it does look like they're going to sort of shake up their either monotyping or their usual dual types.
Sure.
With this.
Right on.
And the water physics looks so good in this game.
Yeah, that was a really noticeable thing in the trailer, was that the water looked really good. And it's just like, okay, finally, like, obviously, I think graphics have really slowed down in their improvement, this generation especially. And so I feel like the Switch 2, it hasn't caught up completely, but it's caught up in the sense of like, okay, we can use some modern graphical things like water physics, like modern water physics in the game, and actually have that system there. So like, I would love to use surf in this game. Like, I think that is going to be awesome.
It honestly looks like Sea of Thieves level graphic stuff here. Additionally, in this trailer, we also saw that they're returning to like letting you explore the ocean floor, and like that is an area that I'm assuming Dive or some ability will let you like walk around and catch Pokemon in water environments. But just a couple of the things with like the Pokemon announcement. Obviously, they showed a lot of Pokopia, which is the Pokemon Animal Crossing game, which I think looks amazing. Based on very little, based on just the concept alone. But they also announced Pokemon, I think it's like Pokemon Championship. And basically what that is Nintendo and Game Freak's decision to take the competitive scene out of their mainline games and put it into like a mobile app or something you play on your Switch. And it is just sort of like battles, so you can optimize your team with all the right EVs and all the right moves and like level 100 Pokemon. And this is just them fighting. Like there is not raising, there is not a story. It's just that competitive element. Yeah. Which I think will allow them for some more creative risks in their mainline entries. Fingers crossed.
Pokemon Stadium.
That they will be able... Pokemon... Yeah, it's basically Pokemon Stadium that you can play on your phone, which is excellent. But I think their intention is to like funnel the competitive scene into there and let their story games be their story games. It's also crazy that like this and Beast of Reincarnation are set so close together, both Game Freak entities. So, yeah. Very excited for everything they announced and released today, even if I won't interact with it like Pokemon Championship or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. Winds and Waves is my highlight, definitely. So, okay, let's move on. Steam Next Fest is going on right now. It's been going on for a couple of days. It's officially going on. Started on the 23rd of February. It's going to be ending March 2nd. It's going to be sort of ending March 2nd because the point of it is to promote a bunch of games, and a big, I don't know if it was necessarily a requirement, but it definitely seems like a implied requirement, is all of the games in Steam Next Fest have playable demos that you can download for free and try out. What a concept. Oh my God. And so there are tons of games there. I played one of them last night called Windrose. Windrose is getting a lot of attention. It's probably the highlight of Steam's Next Fest so far. It is a pirate survival craft game, and like I remember I posted it to a private Discord server of mine, and I was like, look what Ubisoft couldn't figure out how to do. So where you actually play as a pirate, and you do drive a ship and have a crew, but you play as a pirate. And that's the main point of it.
You get to be an actual pirate in the game?
Yes, you get to be an actual pirate.
Impossible.
It's not a boat driver game.
So. If Quadruple A couldn't do it, I don't know how some indie is going to make a game where you can do something as complicated as playing as a pirate.
Yeah. So
I just peeking the list, I feel like they change it up, kind of very similar, or they changed it up the main screen if you were to click on like the link for Steam Next Fest. There's a game that I could tell Paul will be interested in called ASOS. It is a cell-shaded spacecraft building and piloting game. And you go out and collect pieces to build your spacecraft.
Yep.
This looks right up Paul's alley.
I saw it.
But I need to look up Windrose.
There's also a game called Spacecraft.
I don't know if I like that. Too similar to StarCraft.
Yeah, I will.
Windrose looks great.
Yeah, I will say like the trailer is awesome. They have actually multiple trailers, and I love a good pirate jig. So if you put a nasty pirate jig right over a good pirate game trailer, I'm gonna love it. I will say I played it last night. It's fun, but it has a problem that I think a lot of survival games have, which is it really focuses on like the building and the collecting and everything like that. But when it comes to like the combat and the gameplay, it's super clunky. And like it has the systems in place to make the gameplay like where it's got like a skill tree and you can block, and I'm sure you can parry eventually if you unlock that skill or something, but the starting like combat and gameplay are really, really clunky. So I hope that they can fix that. But this is also, being a survival game lover, this too many games are like this, where they focus on, well, you got to chop some trees and you can build a building. And I have a lot of fun doing that. I do. But ultimately, if like my questing if the combat is terrible, I'm gonna get discouraged and not have a fun time. So I would encourage all survival developers, like, you guys got to focus more on gameplay. And that doesn't mean that the gameplay needs to be complicated, but it needs to be satisfying and fun. And like, obviously a great example of this is Valheim, where it's like the gameplay and the fighting in Valheim is very, very simple, but it still feels good and feels fun. And you will get killed by things that are stronger than you, but you're not immediately like, oh, I'm fighting a thing that can kill me in 2 hits. Where like Windrose is very much like, yeah, you fight things that can kill you in 2 hits. And so it feels like the health scaling and the combat is like a Souls-like game, which they described that game as. And it's like, that's not the right fusion, guys. Like I do want a combat challenge. I don't want a combat challenge in the first 15 minutes of the game. It's because it's a survival craft. So please focus on the gameplay. Please update it. Please make it feel better than it does. And I would say that probably about, I'm sure that's true about the spacecraft game and the other one that you mentioned. Was it Atmos or
ASOS?
ASOS, sorry. Atmos is another one. That's recommended to me on the Steam.
They're making games for you, Paul. I'm telling you, people are watching this show and they're like, I got to make a game that Paul's gonna like.
I think
space game specifically.
I just think like survival craft games are easy to make because what are they really? You're taking a game engine and you're simplifying it so that players can design their own buildings and stuff like that. So it's an easier design than coming up with a long campaign that you play through and everything. So I like that, but you got to put a little bit more work into the gameplay. Please. But yeah,
a little more stank on that game.
Say what? More stank?
A little more stank.
A little bit more stank
on that game.
Oh wow, there's a Battlestar Galactica game in here I didn't realize.
It's fun just looking through the list of games because there's things that I'm like, this seems like, I wouldn't say slop because I feel like now I'm sticking slop to AI, but there's a lot of like, well, this is a cool idea. This is like someone's first try in Unreal 5 though.
Yeah, but then there's also like Pragmata is on this list. It's just like, don't really feel like that should be there, but okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can check out the Steam Next Fest. I think like some of the demos might be going away because they're kind of being treated as like betas or alphas, but a lot of the demos that are in Steam's Next Fest will be staying there after March 2nd. So, take a look at that when you have a chance. All right, pressing right along. Big news coming out of Microsoft. Phil Spencer has packed up his things and is retiring, sort of, / he might get another job somewhere else. But he is stepping down, and there is a new person in charge of Xbox that was previously working on implementation of Microsoft's AI tools. And her name is Asha Samara. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I am very concerned about this, but also not really surprised at all. You and I have talked about for over a year now of how Xbox has been phasing itself out on purpose. And Phil Spencer retiring, like, he was doing this as well. It's not like Asha Samara is going to come in and be like, all right, now I'm going to execute my plan to get rid of Xbox. It's like, no, Phil Spencer has been doing this. He's been laying the groundwork to phase Xbox out of things. This is extremely concerning, though, because she was primarily in charge of AI implementation. And so I'm really curious as to how that's going to affect Xbox, other than like getting rid of it and just turning Xbox into Xbox Game Pass. What do you think about this news, Phil?
I think that's their battle plan for sure. Like, they're going to turn it into that. And the changeover is not anything that I think is going to be that big of an effect. I do feel like, from what I've heard from industry folk, that Phil Spencer's kind of been kept in his spot because he's popular with people, but not really had a say so much in what's going on.
Sure, yeah.
It does seem like he's just sort of been like, they're like, okay, well, Phil's popular. He resonates with the crowd. But I do feel like most of the decisions have been being made by committee or possibly even by the people that they're bringing in now to run Xbox. So, I'm not excited because she comes from the AI division and has said a lot of like conflicting things, like, there's not going to be AI slop in Xbox games. But also is like AI is a tool that can be used for so many things, including gaming. So I think, and not to do too much like back and forth thing. I know AI is in games. It's great for bump mapping. It's great for a lot of like, takes a lot of tedious work out of games. It's been used for a long time, longer than we've had sort of public AI.
Right.
But it's still worrying just considering how liberal companies are getting with their use of AI. So all this to say, I'm still not putting money on Xbox. I mean, PlayStation won the console war, and now Xbox is, they're adapting, and hopefully it's a good adaptation. But I'm not singing their praises, and I'm not putting a lot of money on their success.
Yeah, we've bashed them before, and I don't see how it. Honestly, this is to me more a reflection on Microsoft as a whole as opposed to Xbox by itself, where it's like Microsoft is clearly going all in on Copilot because, as they know, we all use it so much. So they're going all in on AI, and they want AI in every division of Microsoft. And so this is just that to me. But I guess the quote here is that one of Xbox's co-creators has said that this is the sunsetting of Xbox. It's the terminology he used, and that the job of all of these people, including Asha, is to gently usher all of these business units into the world of AI. And so I don't like this. I don't like what this means for the industry. So I'll kind of zoom out a little bit more, where we see a major company be like, and she's come out and said like, games are still going to be made by humans, but like, what does that mean? Does that mean that a team of 125 people becomes a team of 20 people with a bunch of AI tools? That technically she'd be telling the truth if that was the case. So I am concerned about it, but again, this is a classic Microsoft thing to do, where they are not really worried about making games themselves. They have Bethesda to make games for them. They have Blizzard to make games for them now. And one of the, I guess, more concerning quotes that she had, she says, "As monetization and AI evolve and influence the future, we will not chase short-term efficiency or flood the ecosystem with soulless AI slop." Which I think the last part of that quote is her trying to be trendy. I don't like her attaching monetization and AI's evolution together. That is very concerning to me. And that definitely seems like we are trying to design games that work like casinos. That's what that sounds to me. It's like, how can we figure out, how can we implement algorithms into games to get people more addicted to spend more money? So yeah.
I think that is that's the direction that they're going. I guess the thing that worries me the most, and what is most like distressing about this news, is that Xbox bought up so many different companies.
Yeah.
Bethesda, Activision, which of course is Activision Blizzard. There is so many things that they own that who's the company that just made Outer Worlds 2? Obsidian,
yeah.
They own all these companies, and as Xbox is consolidating, or if it goes down, then it is an instance where it feels like a lot of these companies will be hurt by that, or a best case scenario, sold off maybe to investors or something to sort of start new companies. But it's just a lot of really talented companies that Xbox has kind of not done much with, and then they might just be in a lot of trouble. So I feel like a lot of my precious children are being held in the hands of a gunman who's like, no, it's cool. This AI is great. It can work the trigger just fine.
Oh, God. Speaking of working the trigger, let's get into our main topic this week, and that is the marathon.
Seamless.
Yes, that is the Marathon Server Slam. Phil and I haven't had a lot of time to play the Marathon Server Slam, so I want to, caution this with our thoughts with a grain of salt here. But we did get in a couple of matches and checked out the game. So we're just going to give our general opinions. But just for some news outright, I think they had a total of 160,000 people on Steam playing the game. And those are really, really great numbers. I will caution, This is a free beta test, essentially. So, I don't know if everybody who's downloading the beta is necessarily going to buy the game. But they have gotten a good amount of pre-orders as well, so that's good. I think that all of that is coming from Bungie fans, Destiny players who are burnt out. So they definitely have a player base available to them there. But Phil, what were your initial impressions checking out the Server Slam? And do you see those impressions changing as you play more of the game? Or do you think you have a pretty good idea of what the game is and what it's going to be next week when it comes out?
I feel like we definitely we played just a couple matches and we and the tutorial. So I feel like we scratched the surface of what the game is. But I feel like it does the thing that Destiny did, that it is, the shooting feels good. You immediately kind of understand your guns once you have them. Like I had a kind of an assault rifle that we all had, and then I managed to pick up a Magnum, and I was like, okay, I get what these do. The shells, so the sort of character classes, the abilities that you have are all very interesting. But they all feel kind of basic. Like I was playing a healer, you were playing more of a tank. I think it's good. It's just not my type of game per se. And that's weird because I love Arc Raiders. And that's largely, I feel like, a style thing. But I feel like this game did a worse job of kind of telling me what to do than even Arc Raiders did. And Arc Raiders doesn't have a very fleshed out tutorial. You have to go look up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think the visual identity in Arc Raiders is what made me want to keep going. And I don't know if the visual identity in this game is enough to make me want, because it feels like very like Tonka trucks, but extra color. It's just it's very colorful and futuristic.
Sci-fi Tonka in a way that truck. Oh my God.
Sci-fi Tonka truck.
That's the name of the episode.
That I don't jive with. But what was your impression of the game and our time with it?
I mean, just to bounce off of what you just said, as far as its design, I completely agree. I really like Arc Raiders design. I like the graphics in Arc Raiders, but it's really just there's a lot going on in the design and the look of this game. Even the loading screens, it's like moths eating and birds flying, and it's flashing the screen. It's like this is ready to give me a seizure. Yeah, exactly. It's ready to give me a seizure. And I have to say, you guys know that there's a huge chunk of gamers who are potheads. Okay. And potheads are going to not be able to take in all of the information. The menu, and I've heard Ninja, the famous streamer, has complained about this. The menu is a mess. It is there's so many things on the menu. Once I play it more, I'm sure I'll know what's going on. But the menu is so confusing. And it's go to the armory, but the armory isn't the armory. It's a bunch of vendors. And it's in Arc Raiders, when I click on vendors, it takes me to the vendors. When I go to, the armory, it doesn't, there's just a lot of menu stuff. And maybe I played it on PC. I should note that. So maybe if I was sitting on my couch and was a little further away from the screen, I'd be able to see everything and flesh everything out, as opposed to playing so close to the screen on my computer. But I can unequivically say that the menus are awful. I will learn them.
Can I
go for it?
I thought about this as you were saying it. I would love to call the design overconfident.
Yeah.
They are overconfident with their design.
Yeah, it is it's like you're doing like an old school like poster board presentation at school, and you used all Sharpie markers. Like I like it's a lot. It's a lot. So as far as the gameplay goes, the gunplay feels good. The gunplay feels like Halo and Destiny. So it's like they have cornered the gameplay, from those games, and so the gunplay feels really good. I'm very confused as to like where I was supposed to go. Like we had a problem where we were trying to do an objective and the marker wasn't showing up, and like it wasn't in my map, and I walked past it several times, and then it appeared, and not while I was near it. It was like when I was like 50 yards away from it after I had walked away, and so that was pretty confusing as well. Shooting the AI, the bots in the game, does feel pretty good. They do feel more deadly than I thought they would. Like if they catch you off guard, they could probably down you if there's several of them. And then we did have a PvP encounter as well that went our way, and that felt good, I guess. But like when you start the game, your backpack is so small. It's like after you raid one room, you're full. And so it's just like, what do I like, we killed a squad of guys, and it's like, well, we're not going to take any of their stuff because I don't have any room. We
kind of just killed them for nothing.
Yeah, we did. And so like, I don't know if like maybe we should try to engage in PvE, but I think like there doesn't seem to be like in Arc Raiders, you have a situation where like if you're starting out early in the game, like a leaper is really deadly when you're starting out in the game, you don't know what you're doing. And that might be something that like, oh, we can team up with people and we can take out a leaper, or we can team up with people and take out a bombardier. I don't really know that is something that you do in this game, or because they're all just like soldiers. And also I did have difficulty telling whether I was shooting at an AI or whether I was shooting at another person, because all of the AI are human shaped, and all of the shells, all of the classes that you select are like, we're all cyborg, like silky smooth cyborg people.
Yes.
So
we look like really plasticky toys.
Yeah,
like it's rough.
So like I will say the game is only 17 or 18 gigabytes to download on PC, so I do like that. It means it's condensed and optimized really well, but I think that also could be of the art style of it being sci-fi Tonka truck, like you said. So yeah.
Well, and one of the map conditions that we were in too, it was very hazy, so it was hard to see anything past a certain range, which might have just been like, might be a map condition, might not be. I need to experiment more with that, but it also kind of made it feel a little like, okay, you're partaking in some tricks here to make this look shiny. And I think graphically it was impressive, just not a style that I resonate with. And I think additionally, like you mentioned, the backpacks being teeny tiny. Absolutely they are. But on top of that, you don't know what the hell you're picking up a lot of the times. Like, I'm like, okay, this item has a green border. I guess I'll pick it up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see.
And a lot of that, comes with, okay, we just got to play the game more and learn what the things are. And that comes with all games. But I think for the looting aspect of it, there's definitely, like in Arc Raiders, something is lootable because if you walk by it, it like gives a little circled indicator that, oh, you can interact with this thing. In this game, it's like everything lights up. Like you walk into a room, it's like, I don't know what I can open and what I can't open. And so, and then unless you're like right in front of it and looking at it where it tells you can open it. But like I spent the majority of the gameplay, like just walking around looking at walls. Can I interact with this? Can I interact with this? Can I interact with this? And then we're looking for our objective. I find this big computer in the middle of where we're supposed to be, and I can't interact with it. It's some little tiny terminal outside somewhere. And so like, and I do want to say it's like Arc Raiders does have this problem to a degree as well, but I think I forgive it more because the design of the environment points you in the direction of things that you can interact with and things that stand out in the environment, where it's like, oh, okay, that's a trailer like Supply Depot, but it's in the middle. Like if you're in Buried City, it's very obvious. Okay, that's an interesting structure. We should check that out. Whereas in this game, everything kind of looks the same. And so because of that, it makes it harder. It's a harder onboarding process of learning what's important and what's not, as far as like where to go, which is incredibly important in an extraction shooter. So yeah. And I don't know. Any other thoughts?
Well, no. I think I'm glad that it's a $40 game. I think that's really cool. It's hitting right in the zone. I think it should be. And for some people, I think it'll really resonate. But and maybe it will for me over time. But it does just feel like it is so overconfident in its design, so overconfident in its mapping, that it doesn't really offer you a lot of information. And when it does, it's sort of like, it does this sort of Halo. Halo did a better job of this. I guess Destiny, like the Grimoire, where you had to go in Destiny 1, you had to use the Grimoire to get any piece of like story elements. This feels similar to where like you're getting just pieces of a story, and it's not enough to drive me to keep going.
Yeah, personally. Definitely. And it's like, I don't know why we're the good guys. Necessarily. Are we? Yeah, who knows? So yeah, I think, I just have problems with the design. That's the main thing. The gunplay is good, but I never doubted that the gunplay was going to be bad. I'm going to play more of it. We should probably talk about it next week after we've gotten more of an opportunity to sink
more time with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't know. People are hot and cold on it. I know the Burnt Peanut was playing it, top streamer nowadays, and he's telling people to let Bungie cook. I think that's kind of a stupid statement. No offense.
Yeah.
Because like, this is a server test. This isn't a beta. The game comes out in a week. They're not cooking anything in a week.
Yeah.
So
maybe they're cooking in a year. Maybe
maybe they're cooking in a year.
It'll get better.
Yeah.
But
so yeah. I do, on the hopeful side, I will say that I am very good at Halo and Bungie gameplay on PC. Like I was when Halo Infinite, when I still played it, when anybody still played it, like I was very, very good at the multiplayer, where I didn't used to be using a controller, and on PC I felt like very, very good at like shooting and being precise and everything like that. So I think I personally have an opportunity to be good at this game, but I don't know if it's a game that I want to be good at. So.
Yes, correct.
All right. Well, unless you have any other thoughts, I think we will wrap up the episode there. Thank you for joining us for episode 113 of the GGG Podcast. Thanks for waiting for this episode. We were recording late. We wanted to talk about Marathon. If you haven't already liked and subscribed to our YouTube channel, we'd really appreciate it if you did. And if you're listening to the audio only version on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you can follow us over there as well. We would appreciate that also. We'll be back next week. I'm excited to get into March, like you were saying, about all the releases coming out. I want Crimson Desert to be as good as it looks. But I still don't believe it. I need like
it's bigger than Red Dead Redemption. I don't know what that means, but it's bigger.
I need some reviews. I need some early reviews to come out. Like, I want that.
We've gotten previews that are pretty positive.
Yeah,
and I'll take that. They're saying that it is doing things that are giving people hope that it is going to be the game that it says it is. I'm just kind of amazed because it feels like this game seemed like, and I've said this a million times, seemed like vaporware for so long.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see that it's actually coming out. I hope it is as good. I hope the combat feels as good as it looks. But hey, we got Resident Evil this week. We got Pocopia next week. We got so many good things coming out.
Yeah.
Fire Red and Leaf Green if you want to play something reliably good.
Yep. Ride that nostalgia, baby. All right. Peace out, everybody. We'll see you next time.